I need a way back to Texas. I'm not leaving until you handle my travel. How do I owe you when you still owe me another check? I'm disputing the repair charges and demanding my escrow back. That wasn't driver damage. I need transportation to Texas. How? With no money.
Good for you. You're terminated. Stop texting. Figure it out yourself.
All right, we about to get into it. We about to talk about the situations that's going on in these blackout Chicago companies, man. Let's talk about it, man. So a driver signs on with a company,
MANILA
International. He's expecting a paycheck and fair treatment. Instead, he's stranded in Chicago, thousands of miles from home, which is in Texas. And the company owes this driver $3,100 in earnings that he worked for that they are withholding. The company claims that the truck is in the shop, right? Then they quietly reassigns. They hold a $1,300 check and refuse to pay the rest. And on top of that, flipping the script, accusing the driver of unsafe behavior. No investigation, no explanation, no accountability, just another driver left broke, abandoned, and fighting for money that he already earned. Yo, drivers, if it could happen to him, it can happen to any driver on the road today. Let's talk about it.
You want answers? I think I'm entitled. You want answers? I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
So drivers, let's talk about what happened here, because this happens all the time. I get these stories all the time, right? This is a pattern that plays out over and over and over again with these Russian black op companies out of Chicago. Honestly, it is crazy work when you look at it. This is the kind of things that drivers deal with every day. Companies like MANILA International, I might be saying the name wrong though, but you guys get what I'm trying to say. See, this type of company relies on drivers staying isolated and quiet. And quite frankly, they think that these drivers are scared of. But when you take somebody's truck, take their time, take their labor, and then refuse to pay them, that's not a clinical error, drivers. That's not even a misunderstanding. It's wage theft, plain and simple. And then they try to make it like, oh, well, it's deductions that you owe us. One paycheck this driver had shows negative $54. Right here, $54. And then the other check was like a negative something else. I'll put it up here. But what really gets me, drivers, is how predictable this playbook is. See, they tell you that the truck is in the shop. They say it's getting fixed. They tell you to sit tight and be patient and don't worry about it. We'll take care of you. Meanwhile, behind the scenes, they already got the truck reassigned to somebody else. They already got the freight ready for the truck when it comes up out the shop. They already have another driver already set to make money off the same equipment that they told you that was in the shop. And then when the moment comes for that truck to come out of the shop and you think you about to get it, that's when the truck is out of your hands and everything changes, driver. Suddenly, you're the problem. Suddenly, you owe them, right? Suddenly, they take your money and now they owe you $3,100. Suddenly, there's a long list of excuses, accusations, and the reasons why they won't pay you. See, you guys need to listen and listen closely. If a company can take your truck, strand you in a whole nother state, and still hold your paycheck, that's not a company you want to drive for, drivers. See, this driver right here, he stays in Texas. They left him in Chicago. That alone should tell you how little they value their drivers right there. No legitimate company will strand a driver hundreds of miles away from home with no support, no plan. Think of it this way. This company wouldn't want you to abandon their truck thousands of miles away from the yard, but yet they feel it's okay to strand this driver thousands of miles away from home. Is it a fair assessment? Because they could turn around and say, hey, we could just put that on your DAC report that you abandoned the truck. But what do you got to report to? Who do you report to when a company leaves you high and dry somewhere that you can't get home? Now, listen, drivers, companies love to say, if you do leave their truck, they'll call the cops. They'll call it abandonment. They'll slap it right on your DAC report, like I said. But again, what do you call it when a company abandons you, though? There's no system to report for that. No way to document it officially, right? See, that's why drivers, like this driver right here, ends up in Facebook groups venting about these black op Russian companies out of Chicago. And then when I come around and I see stories like this, I feel like these stories need to be shared. These stories need to be heard. Now, whether or not, I'm not sure how long this driver been working for this company, but it's still BS on the fact that they took all this money from this driver. This driver basically worked for free for the last 2 paychecks. And that is crazy work. One paycheck was like $5,000 and it was negative $1,000. That don't make sense. And the other check was negative $54. It don't make sense. All drivers, you guys deserve to know what you're walking into. That's why you need to do your research. Keep telling y'all, research. You guys are neglecting to do that. Y'all paying attention to what these other people be telling you about these bullshit ass companies. Y'all listening to these TikToks. Y'all listening to the bait and switch ads that they have on Facebook, man. You need to go deep. When a company be vetting you, they be going deeper. They be looking at your background. They be looking at your DAC report. They be looking at your PSP report. They look at your MVR. They look at everything. You need to do the same thing. You need to go to the FMCSA Safer website. See how long they've been in business. How many trucks they have. What's their crash report? What's their reports looking like? Then you need to find a group or something to find out what this company is about. See the reviews. What our other drivers are saying about this company. You need to dive deeper into these black op companies, especially company named MANILA International. This company, out of all things, had the nerve to talk about unsafe behavior. And they charged this driver $1,000 for it. See, let's talk about unsafe behavior. Unsafe behavior is withholding a driver's pay. Unsafe is stranding someone far from home. Unsafe is playing games with livelihoods. Unsafe is creating a stress, panic, and financial instability for every driver. The very driver that keeps your freight moving. That's what unsafe is. You want to talk about safety? Start with your payroll. Start with your dispatch. Start with your management, because there's nothing more dangerous in this industry than a company that treats drivers the way you do, and that's disposable. You guys hear me say that word all the time. Now, let's talk about the numbers, right? Because this isn't a $50, hell, this isn't even $100. This isn't even about missing fuel reimbursements, man. This is $3,100. Miles driven, time spent away from home, hours on the road, hours in the cold, waiting, working, that are still sitting on $1,300 like it's leverage. Like they get to decide if you deserve the money that you already earned. Drivers, when a company start messing with your money, start withholding your pay, start making excuses, start flipping the script and blaming you, listen, that's a red flag. That's your sign to get up and go. See, you're not dealing with a company that respects you at that point. You're dealing with a company that sees you as nothing but a tool and not a person. And with that said, drivers, that is the time you bounce up out of it. This is why stories like this matter. This is why drivers have to speak up, because companies like this relies on your silence. They rely on you being scared. They rely on you to be cowering in fear. But when you got places like Facebook and these driver Facebook groups, right? When you got places like that to come and tell other drivers about your experience, hell, that's valuable information for the next driver. Because again, like I said, companies like this rely on drivers being tired, overworked, scared to even lose their jobs, or even scared to be blacklisted by the next company. But when you take somebody's time, somebody's money, and you strand them, you lie about the repairs, and you reassign the equipment behind their back, right there, you lose the right behind excuses. See, that right there is unprofessional, it's unethical, and it's downright predatory. See, the saddest part about this story isn't rare. It's not even unique, drivers. Everyone who's been in trucking long enough has seen situations like this being played out with other drivers. Companies know that drivers don't have an HR fighting for them. And if you think HR is on the driver's side, then let me tell you something. I got a Brooklyn Bridge for sale for you. See, they know that drivers don't have a legal team on stamp, right? And you should at this point, because I mentioned Legal Shield all the time. Make sure you check them out, Legal Shield. They also know that drivers are exhausted and they are isolated. See, that's exactly why these stories need to be told. Because every time a driver speaks up on it, another driver avoids getting burned. So again, let this be a warning to you guys about the blackout rushing companies out of Chicago. If a company can't pay you, they don't deserve you. If they lie to you, they don't deserve you. If they string you, they don't deserve your loyalty. And if they steal from you, that company don't need to be in operation. Drivers, we deserve better. We deserve honesty. We deserve respect. Full pay on time without excuses, people. And if Melinda International wants to talk about unsafe behavior, then what they might want to do, drivers, they might want to start looking in the mirror. So drivers, how to protect yourselves. Because at the end of the day, situations like this isn't just bad luck. They happen because companies count on drivers being too busy, too tired, too isolated to fight back. See, a lot of us drivers have more power than what they think. See, the first line of defense is knowledge. See, the biggest mistake is assuming that every company operates with some type of integrity, because a lot of them don't. Some of them do, but a lot of them don't. See, the bad ones, those are the ones that always test you first. Delayed payments, missing reimbursements, vague excuses, sudden policy changes, miscommunication. See, all that, drivers, that's going to always cost you money. See, what you want to do, you want to treat every company that you come across like a business relationship, not family. Not when a recruiter say we're family. And when they say that, that's a red flag to me. This is work. You do the job, they pay you. That's what this is about. Get everything in writing. Screenshot all your settlements. Save all your messages. Track your miles. Document promises if there was some made. And that right there, drivers, will be your shield, because everything will have a paper trail. Trust your gut, because if pay gets delayed, questions get dodged, or blame up all of a sudden appears, that's not confusion, drivers. That's a pattern. What you're going to need to do is pay attention, dive deep, maybe talk to other drivers, definitely share your horror stories, read the reviews, because the trucking community is the strongest defense against all these predatory companies. You might not be able to stop every scam, but you can stop yourself from walking into one blind. So with that said, drivers, stay documented, stay connected, and remember, any company that won't respect your time, your labor, your paycheck, doesn't deserve the miles you give them.